Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into something core for Salesforce devs, that connection, that bridge between what the user sees and the data behind it.
Exactly. We're talking about the at-wire Decorator and Lightning Web component.
The absolute linchpin, right?
Ah.
Connecting that client-side JavaScript in LWC with the server-side Apex.
Yeah, but it's more than just fetching data. Think of it as a reactive engine. It keeps your components automatically in sync with Salesforce data. It's declarative.
Declarative. Okay, so you tell it what you want, not exactly how to get it step by step.
Precisely. The LWC framework handles the messy parts, like caching and refreshing.
Which is a big difference from, say, the older imperative approach, right? Where you're managing promises and state yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Imperative gives you fine-grained control, yes, but at Wire offers, well, automatic efficiency. The platform handles caching, reducing boilerplate code for you, less manual state management.
Gotcha. So to get that efficiency, there must be rules on the Apex side. What does the server need to provide?
Right. Key takeaway number one, your Apex method needs to follow two golden rules. First, it absolutely must be static.
Static, okay.
And second, it needs the annotation at or enabled. Cacheable true. Both are essential for at Wire.
Let's pause on cacheable true. That sounds important. That's the caching mechanism kicking in.
That's exactly it. It tells the LWC framework, hey, you can safely store the result of this method on the client. Big performance win, less server load.
But there's a catch, isn't there? If it's cacheable, it implies.
It implies read-only. You cannot perform DML operations, inserts, updates, deletes inside a method marked cacheable true.
Because that would mess up the cache, right? You'd cache potentially stale data.
You got it. Cacheable means read-only. Stick to queries.
Okay, Apex rules, clear. Now back in the LWC component, how do we actually use at Wire? I understand there are a couple of ways.
Yep, two main flavors. The first is the, let's call it static wire call.
Static meaning the parameters don't change.
Right. Either no parameters are needed or they're fixed values you hard code. The result from Apex just gets provisioned directly to a property in your JavaScript. Pretty straightforward.
Okay, simple enough. But what if the data depends on user input, like filtering a list?
Now we get to the dynamic wire call. This is where the reactivity really shines. Let's say your Apex method needs an industry parameter, and the user picks that from a dropdown in your LWC.
So the parameter needs to change based on a component property, like this .selected industry.
Exactly. And the magic ingredient to make it wire watch that property is the $sign.
The dollar, I've seen that. So you'd wire it like industry, selected industry.
Precisely that. The prefix tells the wire service. This parameter is bound to the LWC property named selected industry. If that property's value changes, automatically call the Apex method again with the new value.
And you don't write any extra code to trigger that refresh?
None. It's automatic. Change the property, the wire service reruns. That's the reactive part.
Okay, super powerful. So the data comes back from Apex. Does it just land in our property ready to use?
Not quite. This is crucial. Key takeaway 3. The wired property, whether static or dynamic, never holds just the raw data.
Right, it's that wrapper object.
Yes, it always gives you an object with two potential properties, data and error.
So you always have to check which one is populated.
Always. If the call succeeds, your wired property.data will have the result from Apex, and your wired property.error will be, well, undefined or null. If it fails, data is undefined, and error contains the error information.
Which means in your HTML template, you need logic for both states.
Correct. Option 1 is using template directives like template if.trueaccounts.data to show the data list, and maybe template if.trueaccounts.error to display an error message. Handle both scenarios.
Makes sense. Is there another way besides putting logic in the template?
There is. Option 2 is to wire the result to a function in your JavaScript instead of directly to a property.
Like at wire, get accounts, wired accounts, error data.
Exactly. Inside that wired accounts function, you get error and data passed as arguments. This lets you do processing, like maybe transforming the data or logging errors before you assign it to a property used by the template.
So you can keep the template cleaner, maybe do some data mapping first.
Yep. It gives you more control over handling the result in your JavaScript code.
Okay, wrapping up then. What are the absolute must-dos for someone using at Wire?
Number 1, for read methods, always use cacheable true in Apex for that performance boost. Number 2, embrace the prefix for dynamic parameters to make your components truly reactive.
Solid advice. And a final thought. What if you do need to change data, maybe using an imperative Apex call, and you want your wired data to update immediately? That cache gets in the way then, right?
Good point. The wire service assumes its cache is good unless told otherwise. If you perform DML that affects the data displayed by a wire, the cache won't automatically update.
So you need to force it.
You do. You need to import and call the refresh apex function, passing it the entire wired property object. This data counts from our earlier example. That tells the framework, hey, ignore the cache of this wire, go get fresh data now. It's essential for keeping things consistent after DML.
Excellent point. Refresh apex, the manual override for the automatic system when needed. Great stuff to remember.